Alright guys, and welcome to this tutorial on doing the simple drag, and what we're going to do is going to get straight into it and just start creating so you guys can follow it along at home. But this isn't really a tutorial that's been designed to cover every single in and out of ZBrush. We just want to get a very quick overview of the idea, and it's a tutorial that's been designed in mind that you're coming from Maya into ZBrush in a production capacity, so you really just want to be able to concept a character up quickly, bring it back into Maya, and then do the retopology and do some UVs or present it nicely inside of Maya. So that's how we're going to move, and we're going to move very quickly, and then later on we'll slow down and go through a lot of detail in the menus and things like that for those guys that want to get a lot more into it. So here that we've got this main window open, Dynamesh Sphere, this is the one that if you're creating your own stuff, probably 99% of the time the one you're going to be using. So let's just double click on that. We just want to get creating straight away. So that's what we're going to open up. Now, what I do to teach this tutorial is similar to the way that I do Maya, is let's make it easier for ourselves, and we're going to load up a custom menu. So let's come up to preferences. I'm going to customize ZBrush a little bit, and this just makes it a lot easier to follow. ZBrush has got a lot of buttons. They're spread out all over the place, but you actually don't need most of them for 99% of the work. It's actually quite a simple program. People are very overwhelmed by ZBrush, but it's actually quite an easy program to learn. So I've just put all the buttons in the one place, so you don't have to hunt around all the time. So let's go to config, and we just need to load the UI first of all. So the UI is the windows, and I'm just going to navigate to my folder here, which I've downloaded the zip file, and that's the guy. So we're just going to load him up. That is the CFG, that's the config of the windows, and you can see it just brings up a whole bunch of buttons here. Now, by default, they seem to be opening really long, and this has only just started happening to me, so I'm assuming this is not really supposed to happen, but we'll see if I can get to the bottom of it. But to fix the whole huge layout that's open by default, just click on one of the windows and then click it a couple of times and everything will close. Okay, so it does pop up every time you start, but that's what we want. We want texture, export, and mesh. They should also be the other way around. So what these are is two menus. They're two new menus that you've got there. If you click these guys here and drag them off, you can actually kill those guys. And to put them back, you just drag them back. So the mesh should be on the top and the texture should be on the bottom, and then we'll be in a much better place. Now, if ZBrush was to crash right now, we've also got a whole bunch of new buttons down there and a few up here. If ZBrush was to crash right now, you'd be losing these settings. So you do have to save it. And the way that you do that is in preferences, config, and then just go store the config. Save the UI, this is a bit confusing. Save the UI will save out to a file, whereas store will just store that for the next reload, and that's what we need to do there. So that's that. Now, this is almost 99% of everything that you need in ZBrush. So you'll notice there's these huge menus along here, down the side and whatnot, but actually all we need is this. So this is what we're going to be focusing on, even for the advanced sections, or the more advanced sections of these classes. The other thing that we want to do is we want to pretty much have hotkeys for everything. ZBrush doesn't have a lot of hotkeys, I noticed, so we're just going to set them all up, and it's very easy to do as well. So we just come to hotkeys and we just load them in. So there they are in the same zip file. This time they're called a text file. Let's just load that in. So that's now loaded the hotkeys. You can mouse over that, just make sure the clay buildup has got the number 4 on it now, and that will be correct, and you've loaded them in. Same thing as before, we need to store those hotkeys. There, save will save them out to a text file, store will store them up for the next time that we load. Make sure you hit that one, or else they will be gone the next time you load. Now to get back, especially with the config, you can just restore the custom UI. I will look into ways of doing the hotkeys as well. For some reason, that restore button has gone missing as well. This is sort of the new version of ZBrush, so I'm assuming there's a problem with it there. Okay, so now that we're up and running, let's get straight into the basics.